Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Ramblings of a Grumpy Old Man. So, I did a video the other day on abortion, and apparently, according to the views, this topic doesn't strike a chord with the viewing public, apparently. So, I was watching a show last night, and I felt an overwhelming need to share this family's story. I mentioned it in the last video about a lady that spent 20 hours waiting for services that could have saved her life. And I understand that, coming from a middle-aged white guy, it's probably not really effective. So I made sure that the video that I'm about to show you of the interview last night on CNN on Laura Coates was out in the public forum before I used it. Also, I downloaded also an ad that I've used before just for the Donald Trump sound bites on abortion. Now, this story is not really about abortion so much. That had already taken place. This is after the situation. Sorry, my dog decided he needed some attention. So this is what occurred after. And unfortunately, the story does not have a happy ending. So please, I'm begging, listen to these people's story of what happened to their daughter and imagine yourself in their situation and try and figure out how you would deal with this preventable death. Now, there is a part in the interview where their lawyer speaks. You'll see him. He's the guy off to the right. I'm not going to show that part because this isn't about legal litigation. This is about what this family has to endure because of the change in the laws. And now what doctors are having to go through before they can administer care to patients that can save their lives. And Donald Trump's stance on this is mind-blowing. And anybody that is even considering, anybody with a mother, a wife, a daughter, a granddaughter, that can still vote for this man after hearing this story, I just can't comprehend. So first I'm going to play the interview, and then I'm going to play the ad. Actually, check that. I'm going to play the ad first. Then I'm going to play the interview. Then I'm going to play the ad again, just so it really sinks in, because I think this really needs to hit home. because I don't think people are paying enough attention. So please watch the entire video. And if you like what you're seeing on our channel, please click the subscribe button at the bottom. And yeah, so here we go. Away with the show.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished?
There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
In the post-Roe v. Wade world in the United States, many women are worried about their health, even their very survival. They're seeing what happened to Amber Thurman and Candy Miller in Georgia, and they are wondering if the same thing could happen to them. Now, their stories were first reported by ProPublica, which linked their deaths to the state's strict abortion law. For 28-year-old Amber Thurman, ProPublica reports that she found out that she was pregnant with twins after Georgia's 6-week abortion ban went into effect. She tried to get an abortion in North Carolina, a 4-hour-away drive, scheduling a day off work and leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to the clinic. But she hit traffic, and she missed the appointment. The clinic could not hold her spot open because it was overwhelmed by women from other states that also had abortion bans that were seeking abortion-related services. But an employee offered her an approved abortion pill regimen, and Amber took it. And days later, she suffered a rare complication. Amber's body did not expel all the fetal tissue. So she went to the hospital in Georgia to get a procedure that could actually help her. But ProPublica says that Amber waited for more than 20 hours until a decision was made to operate. 20 hours in pain, wondering what would happen to her 6-year-old son. Amber died during that surgery. I want to bring in Amber Nicole Thurman's mother, Shanette Williams, and Amber's sisters, CJ and Andrika Thurman, along with attorney for Amber Thurman's family, Ben Crump. I want to thank you all for being here. The entire world, let alone this country, is absolutely devastated, Ms. Shanette, to hear what has happened to your daughter. I mean, the state's Maternal Mortality Review Committee found there was, and these are their words, a good chance that Amber's death was preventable. According to them, this could have been prevented. I cannot imagine what this feels like for you.
Laura, after August the 19th, this is my reality. I wouldn't have ever imagined walking into the hospital and this being my result. When I got there, she was repeatedly telling me how much pain she was in, and I would reassure her that you're gonna have that, you're here, they're gonna help you. Don't worry, you're going to get the help that you need. We're in the best hands. You're at the hospital. And she kept telling me, no, Ma, you don't understand. I am in pain. It is too much pain. She began to cry. As a mother, I reassured her. She was okay. She was okay. As her mom, I handed her over to the people I trusted. The people that were supposed to take care of my baby.
Just hearing you say what every mother would think, go to the hospital, they will help you, trying to reassure, trying to calm her down. It's just so painful and heartbreaking to understand that, CJ, I'll bring you into this as well, that as ProPublica reports, that very hospital, it took more than 20 hours to begin truly treating her and performing a surgery to try to get that toxic tissue out of her body. Has anyone given an explanation for why it took 20 hours?
No, we haven't gotten any explanation, and it's very sad that we're just finding out how she really passed. Before my sister went into surgery, she FaceTimed me, and my sister was very bright, very light-skinned. When she FaceTimed me, my sister was literally blue. She had blue patches all over her face, and Amber, she just looked at me. I asked her, I say, Amber, are you dehydrated? Do you need water? Like, are they taking care of you? She was just like, no, I just passed out again. She was throwing up. She was passing out at the hospital. She hit her head, and she had all kind of bruises and, you know what I mean, all over her face.
God.
And before she went into surgery, she literally stared at me for about 7 seconds, and I stared at her. And I think that my sister knew that she wasn't going to make it out of surgery. She knew that was going to be the last time that we were ever able to see her, that I would ever be able to see her again. And that face, that stare, it haunts me every day to know that my sister was in so much pain for so long.
For you to see that and to see her face in that, I'm the youngest sister of 3 girls. And looking at you all reminds me of my own family and trying to imagine what that would have been like to be on a FaceTime, to be in her presence, to be where I would think I would be safe and she could get help. I mean, Andrika, this is agonizing, I know, for your family. And to know not only is it agonizing privately, but here this is Amber's story, your family's now journey front and center, and now a presidential election. What has your reality been like in these moments?
Ever since we found out, I'm having a hard time understanding how they could let my sister suffer for 20 hours. My sister was in pain the entire 20 hours. She was in pain and she was still updating us, letting us know what's going on, what she's doing, while she's in pain. And she did call before she went into surgery, and she was blue. She was so blue, she could hardly talk, and she just stared at me. She stared at me as if she knew this was going to be her last time seeing me. She didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. We just stared at each other. And that is all I have left of my sister, the images of her laying there, blue, and then seeing her lifeless on a bed. And I can't do anything about it. Those are my last images, and it haunts me. When I close my eyes, it haunts me. As I'm driving in my car, it haunts me. It just haunts me. That was my little sister.
Mom, Miss Shanette, I can't begin to imagine what it is you're feeling between your daughters, holding your daughter's funeral program. And
the fact that I was actually with her on August the 19th, and I released her. We were in the elevator, 1:59 p.m. She was giving me instructions about the pain. She went from talking about the pain to, Mom, you're going to have to take care of my son. You're going to have to. And I just interrupted her and I told her, no, they're going to help you. She began to cry. My baby was extremely strong. And when she cried, I wiped the tears and I said, I'll be right here waiting when you come out of that operating room. I will not leave. I'm right here. She looked up at me after she had me to FaceTime them, and she said, I know you'll be here. And sitting between them, hearing what they've been going through, what it's been like for them, I shut down 24 months in a dark room because the only thing I felt was what more could I have done? What did I miss? What did I miss? I'm her mom. I was supposed to know. But I handed her off.
You can't do that to yourself. You can, I mean, you can't blame yourself. I know that you are expressing that, but you know that this was not your doing. You know that in your heart.
And, to find out with the world, it's like the wound that wasn't healed opened wider. And now it's not a private matter. The world has to see my hurt.
When you hear Miss Jeanette and CJ and Adrika, you hear the politics coming into a conversation that is deeply personal, that is deeply private, that is deeply painful. You hear people like the former President Donald Trump saying that if he were president, women will be happy and free and will no longer be thinking about abortion. This is a quote. You hear a Republican Senate candidate in Ohio saying that abortion is not an issue for women over 50. Why should they care? What goes through your mind, Ms. Jeanette, when you hear comments like that?
How cruel, how pathetic. If we allow one person to have that much control, to have control over women's rights, then we're helping him. We've helped him. And this is the outcome.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished?
There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it. And I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
Well, there you have it, everybody. If that family story doesn't pull at your heartstrings and make you reconsider your stance on who you're going to vote for, then I don't know what else will. And all I've got to say is, regardless of your views on abortion, because this story is not about abortion. This story is about how the doctors didn't know what the laws were in their state, and the possibility that if they performed this procedure, they could be held liable. I think that even if Roe versus Wade doesn't get overturned, and which I really feel in my heart that it will, and yeah, for you people, this is my grumpy old man shirt. It says, I can't please but one person a day, and today ain't your day, and tomorrow doesn't look good either. So just in case you were trying to read my shirt while we were doing this. But anyway, back to the topic. This is about doctors not knowing what the laws are and where they stand, whether they can go to jail for performing a procedure that before Roe versus Wade was overturned was done. It was a routine procedure. So let's codify Roe versus Wade, make it the law of the land, put in a constitutional amendment, and let's get this done for our mothers, our daughters, our granddaughters, our future generations, so that they have the right to make the choices on their own bodies. And doctors have the right to perform life-saving procedures when somebody's in desperate need, and we don't have any more of these situations. preventable deaths, all because one man who is happy to have done it overturned a law. So, thanks for listening. Until next time, this has been Ramblings of a Grumpy Old Man. Again, if you like what you hear, click the subscribe button at the bottom.